Let me give you a strange retirement truth. You can have a big portfolio and still be financially trapped, not because you ran out of money, but because your cash flow timing is wrong. RMD is not the problem. RMD is the bill that arrives after decades of small decisions. If you're in your 30s, you're building that bill right now. If you're in your 50s, you still have time to shrink it. Let's talk about the bridge years most people waste. Most people think retirement is a date, 62, 65, 70. That belief causes more financial damage than any market downturn, because retirement is not when you stop working. Retirement is when money stops making decisions for you. Financially speaking, retirement has only one definition. Your reliable income is greater than or equal to your living expenses. That's it. If you reach that state at 45, you are more free than someone who is 70 and still dependent on a paycheck. If you don't reach it at 60, you are not retired, regardless of what the calendar says. Age is a number. Cash flow is reality. This framework matters for two groups of people. They worry about different things, but they're solving the same problem. Ages 30, 49, worry. Am I already behind? Do I need to save aggressively forever? Is early retirement realistic? They're thinking about freedom. Ages 50, 60, worry. Do I still have time? What about healthcare? What happens when RMDs start? They're thinking about control. Different fears, same goal. Before talking about RMDs, IRAs, or tax strategies, you must answer one brutally honest question. What does a normal, comfortable year of my life actually cost? Not luxury, not survival mode, just life without stress. Money without purpose is noise. You don't need precision. You need an anchor. For many U.S. households, a realistic reference point is $60,000 per year. Not because it's perfect, because it reflects how people actually live. Early retirement often costs more, not because of lifestyle, but because of health care and longer timelines. That's why many early retirees plan for $80,000 to $100,000 per year. Here's the key principle. Plan for the normal year, not the perfect year. Perfect years never arrive, and plans built around perfection break quickly. Many younger investors say RMD is a problem for future me. That's a dangerous misunderstanding. RMD doesn't affect you at 35, but the decisions you make at 35 determine how painful RMD becomes later. Every dollar placed into a pre-tax account today is a dollar that may be forced out later on the government's schedule, not yours. Don't think in tax years. Think in decades. Pre-tax money is not fully yours yet. It's a partnership with a silent partner called the IRS. And that partner eventually demands distribution, whether you need it or not. When people think about retirement, they start with accounts. How much is in my 401k? How big is my IRA? How bad will RMDs be? That feels logical. It's backwards. Because if you start with accounts, You allow tax rules to decide how you live. The correct order is always life, cash flow, taxes, accounts. Every retirement plan, no matter how complex, can be reduced to 3 cash flow streams. No exceptions. Stream 1, living expenses, the cost of your actual life. Not ideal life, not worst-case life. Stream 2, reliable income. Income you can count on. Social Security, pensions, fixed annuities. This income doesn't make you wealthy. It keeps you calm, and calm is a financial asset. Stream 3, the gap, what remains after. Reliable income is subtracted from expenses. This gap is what investments must cover. RMD operates only inside this third stream. RMD does not define your lifestyle. It does not create expenses. It simply triggers taxation. Let's make it concrete. Traditional timing example. Expenses, $65,000. Social Security, $48,000. Gap, $17,000. Your entire portfolio exists to cover that gap, not your entire lifestyle. Early retirement example. Expenses and health care, $90,000. Social Security, $0. Gap, $90,000. This is why early retirement is not about returns. It's about planning. 2 RMD scenarios that confuse people. Scenario 1, RMD is larger than your gap. Expenses, $60,000. Social Security, $48,000. Gap, $12,000. But RMD required $30,000. The mistake is thinking, I have to spend all $30,000. You don't. You only need to spend the gap. The rest can be taxed, reinvested, or reserved. RMD is a tax event, not a spending mandate. Scenario 2. RMD is smaller than your gap. Expenses, $75,000. Reliable income, $30,000. Gap, $45,000. RMD, $20,000. If you limit yourself to RMD, you underfund your life. Lifestyle first. Tax strategy second. RMD grows as accounts grow. Unchecked growth creates higher taxable income, Medicare premium surcharges, more taxable Social Security. This isn't a surprise. It's math over time. RMD doesn't hurt because it exists. It hurts because it's ignored for decades. If RMD feels threatening, it's usually a sign of concentration, not bad luck. Traditional retirement. Work, retire. Social Security, RMDs. Early retirement breaks. That sequence. And that's exactly why it can create something more valuable than money. Time with control. Early retirement creates a gap between stopping work, mandatory systems beginning. That gap is not a problem. It's an opportunity. Bridge years are the years between earning wages, mandatory withdrawals, often 10, 20 years. During this time, no RMDs, often lower taxable income, maximum flexibility. This is the most valuable phase of your financial life. Most people treat it like a waiting room. It should be treated like a control room. Fire fails, not because people run out of money. It fails because they pull money from the wrong place. at the wrong time. Timing matters more than net worth. Cash flow sequence matters more than returns. Retire at 55. Expenses, $80,000. No Social Security yet. Portfolio, $900,000 taxable. $700,000 retirement accounts. The right question is not, is this enough? The right question is, how do I fund the next 10 years without creating future pressure? A conservative sequence. Cash, taxable accounts, pre-tax retirement, Roth. Why? Because taxable withdrawals often create capital gains, not ordinary income. That preserves flexibility. But here's the deeper insight. Bridge years can be used to reduce future forced withdrawals. If you do nothing, accounts grow. RMD grows. Taxes rise later. If you plan, taxes are smoothed. Pressure is reduced. Control is maintained. Early retirement doesn't fix RMD. Planning does. Passive fire. Retire. Avoid retirement accounts. Let them grow. Later, large RMDs, high taxes, less flexibility. Intentional fire. Use bridge years strategically. Gradually reduce future obligations. Same lifestyle, different pressure. The difference is timing. If you're younger, know your lifestyle anchor. Diversify account types. Think in decades. If you're 50, 60, identify bridge years. Decide withdrawal order early. Shift from growth obsession to risk control. The real risk in retirement is not markets. It's being forced. Forced withdrawals. Forced taxes. Forced timing. Good planning doesn't predict the future. It structures the present. So the future has fewer bad surprises. If RMD feels threatening, it's a signal, not of danger, but of missing structure. Retirement isn't about quitting work. It's about choice, and choice only exists when you plan early enough.